The schwa is a muffled vowel sound you probably didn't learn about in school. It's represented in the dictionary by an upside down E. Any vowel can schwa. That means that the clear vowel sound that you would expect can be replaced by a short U sound of or a short I sound of I. In today's lesson, we're going to learn about words that start or end with the letter A that schwa, and words that end in IA or TIA. Most 3 and 4 letter words in English are not going to schwa when there is an A at the beginning. Instead, the first sound you should try is the short A sound of ah. If you don't recognize the word, then try the broad A sound of ah. Here are 2 3-letter words that actually schwa. In this lesson, all of the underlined vowels will have their long sound. So this is a go, and this O is going to use its oo sound, a do. There are more 4-letter words starting with A that schwa than 3-letter words, but still, most of the time, if the word is 4 letters long, the A is going to have the short A sound of ah, or sometimes the broad A sound of ah. Here are some words where the A will schwa and sound like a short U. AR says R, so this is afar, akin, alas, amid. EW says ooh here, anew, atop. AY says away. Notice in how many of these words, the rest of the word after the A is a word by itself. Like right here, we could see the word far, kin, new, top, and way. If you see a word that starts with an A and everything after it looks like it could be a word by itself, that's a big clue that the A is very likely to schwa. If the word is 5 letters or longer, the first sound you should try is a schwa, especially if there's a prefix at the beginning. If you don't recognize the word with a schwa, then try a short A sound of ah. If you still don't recognize it, or if you notice that you have an A, L, and then a consonant, or an A, R, and a consonant, then try the broad A sound of ah. You can hear that in words like altar and armor. These are all 5-letter words, so we're going to try the schwa first. Aback, abase, abate, abide. O uses ow most of the time. About. S is going to use its second sound of z here. Abuse. This is the suffix iv. English words don't end in the letter V, so if you see a word ending in IVE that is a longer word, it's probably going to have a short I sound because the E is just there to keep the V from being the last letter. So this is abusive, adapt, adept, adopt. AR says R, alarm. This is alert. IGN has a long I sound with a silent G. Align, alike, alive. This says A, allay, alone. NG says along, aloof with a oo. OU says ow, allowed. Notice how many words are within these words, like we have like, live, lone, long, and loud. Amass, amaze. We can add suffixes, amazing. Note that when we add a suffix that starts with a vowel, this E gets dropped. Amend, NG says among. S will use its second sound of Z here. Amuse. OI says oi. Annoy. This is R. Apart. Apply. Note that this Y has a long I sound, although most of the time Y at the end of a word has a long E sound. Atone. OR says or. Adorn. Adult. Affix. OO is going to use the sound here. Afoot. AI usually has a long A sound, but this is one of the few words where it has a short E sound. Again, agape. OW says O here. Aglow. EE has a long E sound. Agree. EA uses the short E sound here. Ahead. Notice how some of these words have an A and then something else that's another word. Like right here, you can see foot. You can see the word gain, glow, and head. AI has a long A sound, so this is avail. Although this by itself is the word able with a clear long A sound, as a suffix, the A schwas, and it sounds like available. OI says oi, avoid, avoiding, awake. Almost every time you see a word that ends in the letter A, it will schwa. Sofa, coma, the name Anna, data, tuna, yoga, cobra, comma, extra, Honda, ninja, delta, scuba, villa, zebra. S will use its second sound of Z here. Plasma, tundra. When the word ends with IA, the I is going to have a long E sound, and the A will schwa, so together they will sound like Ia. P and H together say F, so this is phobia, utopia, trivia, mania, insignia, media. In both of these words, the A at the beginning, as well as the one at the end, will schwa. Anemia, ammonia, insomnia, bacteria. If the word ends in TIA, the T and the I together are going to say sh, and the A will schwa. So all together, this will sound like sha. Scotia, ER says inertia. This I will schwa. Militia, and this E will schwa. Dementia. Stay tuned for part 6. If you found this video useful, please share it with others on Facebook, X, and WhatsApp.